That's what I want to talk to you about. Hear that? It's one of the most exciting sounds in the world. Bongo. Everybody's doing it. Bongo. Bongo.
Oh, yeah. I love it now. I got to have a little over here, please. And a little under there, please. I'll bend over now. Yes, in front. Oh, Southern California, baby. We're going to New York today. Yeah, we're going to have some fun. That's what we're going to do. It's at powervoices.com. The Brown Beauty is back on duty. Jesse Torero with you as we bongo into the nighttime here in Southern California. The sun sets over the beautiful blue Pacific Ocean. And by the way, it turns black then. Did you know that? That the ocean is not blue at night? Oh, my goodness. A mind blower of information today. Thank you very much. At www.thepowerofvoices.com. Yes, just Jesse T Show right here, Monday through Friday. Monday through Friday. Let's say it together. Monday through Friday. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Live at 5. You're entering the world according to Torero. You're going to get straight on the point. I'm not kidding you. We're going to New York. We're going to be going out to New York in a little bit. Oh, man, do I got a special guest for you. I got this guy. I don't know how I got this guy. I hoodwinked him last year into Norby Walters' Night of 100 Stars on the red carpet. You know, I started, I said, you know, hey, man, I got to have you on my show. Got to have you on my show. Got to have you on my show. You know, I just bugged him all year long. I think he's just doing it out of the graciousness of his heart. I'm talking about superstar. And man, this guy's a great actor. Rich Graff is going to be checking in here in just a little bit. And we're going to go over all the juicy morsels and details of the life, all in the day of the life of a New York actor. Yeah. Interesting. Much different there than it is here. Much different. The actors here basically running around naked half the time. The actors there, they're so stoic and so prim and proper. Yes. I guess as you get closer to England, the Stanislavski method starts checking in. Oh, that's fancy actor talk. Okay, hey, it's okay. So we're going to be hooking up there in just a few minutes. I'm going to play a video of him pretty soon. We're going to be talking about all the stuff that he's into. He's got some great projects out. You've seen him in Lucky Luciano, the series that was on HBO, I believe, and he played Lucky Luciano. That is a great part to play, following the footsteps of so many great actors who have played Lucky Luciano, the mob boss. It's kind of hard to bring something new to it, but he certainly brought some new stuff to it, which was totally different than most. Hey, it's good to have you along, and you can start chiming in right now. That would be real cool. You can chime in here at facebook.com/Jesse Torero, facebook.com/ The Power of Voices. YouTube Live and the Power of Voices site on YouTube Live, and also Bamboozle, and we're also up on UPeak and Stream Up, and we're live streaming right now, so you can check us out there for our live stream audience, as well as at www.aventertainmentlive.com and www.av. That is thepowerofvoices.com. I mean, that's just to name a few that were up. Instagram, of course, and Snapchat and Periscope and all those crazy things and so many more. I just lose count and lose control. But the most important thing is we're heading it out to you for you to chime in with us. When you do check in with us, please let me know where you're calling from or where you're chiming in from. If you want to make a phone call a little bit later on, you're certainly welcome to do that. at 424-227-9461. And you are welcome to call in at any time during the show and maybe ask Rich Graff, a fine actor, a couple of questions or something like that. And maybe you can get the secret information that I'm going to try to get. Yes, there's a cloud somewhere there, and I'm going to dig like a psychologist. That's right. Hey, so what's been going on in the world? Well, of course, we have Donald Trump doing. You have Donald Trump doing what he's doing. You got him up and ready to go. Okay, we got Donald Trump doing what he's doing. He's picking his cabinet. And we have the Democrats out there doing what they're doing. They're fighting. And the Republicans are fighting. And it's just, I guess it sounds like the same old in Washington, D.C. to me. The same old. Well, we'll see how things go, won't we? And, we do a lot of talking here about politics. But, well, of course, let's talk a little bit about Thanksgiving. And just real quickly, one thing you should be doing right now is getting on the road to wherever you're going, because where I came from was just only an hour away, and it took me 2.5 hours to get here. I mean, that LAX has got to be just jam-packed right now if the freeway is any indication of it. Every street and freeway and everything is just packed. Alleyway, curbside. I mean, it's terrible. I think I need to start Ubering more and more and more. That's what I need to do. But I think I'm going to do Lyft instead of Uber, just because everybody's doing Uber. I'm going to do Lyft just because, that's the wonderful way I does things. Yes. All right. Okay. There we go. All right. So, get out in those travels. Be safe and enjoy your family this weekend coming up. And, of course, Thanksgiving on Thursday. So let's go and bring up Rich Graff. Rich Graff, what you doing, my friend?
What's up, Justin?
Hey, you're all the way in New York.
New York City, and let me tell you, the traffic here is probably worse than it is in LA.
Where are you at right now? Are you up? You're in Manhattan, right?
Right now, I'm filming by the Intrepid Museum. I don't know if you see the Intrepid behind me.
Let me see.
Why don't I give you a little bit of a tour?
Okay.
So now you're looking at going downtown Manhattan, right here on the West Side Highway, and then you're going to the George Washington Bridge on the other side, and it's wall-to-wall traffic as you can see the beautiful Intrepid behind us.
That's a nice thing about New York. You got so many things. You just take 5 steps in any direction, and you're looking at some cool stuff.
Yeah, well, it's the city that never sleeps. It really is a city.
Yeah, and it really does. I mean, if you've ever been there, and you grew up in New York, right? This is your hometown.
That's my hometown, yep.
Yeah, and yeah, man, so it's like this is second nature to you. This is just like all a matter of fact. But for everybody else, it's like, oh my God, that's New York City. Look at that. Oh,
it could, the problem is that when it's like that, it becomes a little too commercial. It becomes very touristy.
Right.
When you get right down to it and you get to the really good places, it's really a town and a city put together. If you try not to mix it up and make it a tourist destination, it really is more like I can't call it a town, but it's the best town on earth.
Yeah, if you've traveled around, you really realize that New York offers so much different lifestyle than Los Angeles or San Francisco or anything here on the West Coast or even in Texas or anything. I mean, I guess maybe a couple of cities that might come close to that would be maybe Boston and Chicago, but maybe Philly.
Chicago for me is the most like New York because it's kind of got that blue collar feel to it, but that big city environment.
Oh yeah.
Which I like. Unlike LA, which is again, it's very transient, just like both cities are. But a lot of people in Chicago, a lot of them were born there and raised there, kind of. Whereas in LA, you have a lot of people, just like New York and Chicago. You have a lot of people that come from other destinations to live there.
I like the new look you're sporting, man. I like the rough face. Yeah, that's cool. I like that.
Yeah. Thank you.
I should have let the beard grow. Just a little while ago, it was like down to my chest with the Fu Manchu and the Mai Tai and all that stuff, right? But I wanted to dress up for you, man. I thought, well, I'm going to put the leather jacket, New York style on, right? Got the little, and I got the hair slicked back. I let my Italian come out, right? Look what I'm doing for you, man. Come on.
I'm sure you look fabulous just the way you are.
Oh.
But Same thing.
Yeah, that's cool, man. So just back to New York a little bit. One of my favorite parts, one of my favorite things about that great city is that really there's always something to do. You can always, night and day, Monday, Sunday, there's always something terrific to do. That's interesting.
Yeah.
And I mean, when you were a kid, were you just roaming around Manhattan and roaming around the West Side and the Lower East Side? I mean, was this like your whole playground?
I tell people all the time, growing up in New York City, it's not a regular childhood where you ride your bike and you go to football games on Friday for your local high school. It's a different world. You grow up real fast here. And, there's positives and negatives about that. And, I was out in the nightclubs when I was 15, 16 years old already.
Oh, man.
So, yeah, I wasn't all bad, but, you definitely grew up. I was doing things that people didn't do probably till they were about 23, 24.
Wait a minute.
At the age of 16.
Wait a second. Don't tell me you had fake ID that said you were 21 like I did.
No, I actually didn't have a fake ID. I used my brother's expired license. Nobody ever looks at the expiration date.
Yeah, back in the day, back when that happened, they didn't. That's for sure. I mean, I used to jimmy up fake IDs and sell them to cats so they could get into the nightclubs and charge them a couple of bucks, So,
Right.
That's so true. So you were out there having your good times when you were a late teenager. When did acting bite you? Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you a little bit about, in fact, you know what we're going to do, Rich? We're going to play that video you gave us right now. I want everybody to see some of your abilities. Let me set this up a little bit. This is a video that Rich has, and it's your real video. Can you talk a little bit about this? Set it up a little bit for us.
Well, it comprises of the latest things that I've done. So the latest film that's out right now in theaters is called My Dead Boyfriend, with myself, Heather Graham, John Corbett. And it's a great indie film directed by, Anthony Edwards, of course. This is his first film that he's directed. Anthony Edwards, of course, was Goose on Top Gun, amongst other things. He was on ER.
Yeah.
And that's the first clip of this reel. And then it goes into some other films that I did. One was a short film, which I won an award for here in New York. And then, of course, where I played Lucky Luciano on AMC's Making of the Mob New York. And, it's just comprised of a bunch of those clips. And I'm glad you like it. Thank you very much.
It's very cool. So let's hit that, Lee. And this is Rich Graft, everybody.
And our drummer was a total disaster.
Thank you. Good night.
So of course I had to date him. Because he wasn't just a bad drummer.
Hey, you look really hot tonight.
He was a real firestorm of stimulating conversation.
Mary? Mary? Little Mary McCrawley?
Thanks for the compliment. Do I know you?
I'm Joey Lucas from Hoboken, New Jersey. I was your old neighbor. Friend of your parents? I come by and see the band and you, and you were awesome.
Yeah, that's right. I remember. I totally saw you, dude. I thought you were like a manager or something.
Oh, listen, wait a minute. Yes. That's my card if you ever want to, have dinner or catch up.
Sounds great. I'll call you tomorrow. I know a really nice place that's on First and Third.
Okay, now? Great.
I mean, it looks nice, but I've never been actually in there.
Bye.
Blood on the streets must stop, and this cycles of revenge must end. We may be criminals, but that doesn't mean we're savages. We have to run our business like a business.
This mess. Look at this mess. What are you doing over there besides nothing, huh? Believable. Why don't you help your mother clean the house? Why?
I like this one.
You got too much pot to smoke? Is that what it is? You hang out with your friends?
No.
Right?
No, it's not fair. It's not kids.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. Go ahead. What? What is it that you do? Tell me.
More than
Well,
that.
what? I want to hear what you have to say. Tell me. What do you want to say? Tell me. I want to hear it. Yeah. Good job. That's real good. You freaking loser. That's your son. That's your son. Who's taking my goddamn pens?
Right now, you're just a soldier. Another tapista with a gun, and you're tired of it.
Yeah.
Huh? There's safety in no one knowing who you are. Nobody targets a nobody.
You took risks. And you still take risks.
Calculated risks. Smart ones. One where the odds work in my favor. You got balls. I'll give you that. You do this. There's no going back.
I know.
You already made up your mind. Why ask me?
Because I trust you.
Trust yourself. Because if you do this, you're on your own.
Man, that's some powerful stuff. I like that. Rich Graff, everybody. Wow, what a powerful reel, buddy. Great job.
No, I just have to let everybody know I'm really not that mean in person. Okay, I don't slap people over pencils or, kill people for a living. That's not me.
Well, I'll tell you something, man. That was
That's
a pretty.
the way I look on the outside. I don't know what it is.
Man, you got a good lower right cross, man. Right from the bottom right up to the slap, man. That was pretty good slapping.
I'm just happy I really didn't slap him that hard. That's all.
It sure sounded like it, post-production. Yeah, we love that. Great part. In fact, out of that whole reel there, I just think it was all terrific. And the look that you had on when the guy walks away with your girl and you're like the drummer, it's like, what? What?
Bastard.
Yeah, I mean, how did you get into acting? I mean, you're growing up in New York. You're a kid. You're going out to clubs when you're 16 years old. Messing around with the older girls, right? Having a good time.
Of course.
Yeah.
I was always one of those kids that wanted to entertain and never shy. Not only did I not shy away from the spotlight, but for some reason it kind of found me on its own.
Isn't that interesting?
I don't know if you read my bio, but I was a Gerber baby.
Yeah.
When I was leaving the hospital, there was someone waiting for my parents in the hospital to put me on the Gerber label. So it's one of those things. It's kind of weird how it always just found me, and it's true. It's just and I was always drawn to it myself. My parents didn't want me doing it at all. I had parents who were both worked and retired from J.P. Morgan Chase. They were both very serious people, and they did not want me involved in that lifestyle. But after I graduated college and my graduate degree and everything, I started pursuing it on my own until I could leave my 9 to 5 and do this full time.
So who we have to blame for it is the Gerber the company, right?
Probably, or some nurse that was working in the hospital at that time that knew someone or something. I don't know.
That's cool, man. Isn't it interesting how destiny just finds us? And I think one of the hardest things for people to really grasp is that when destiny is looking you straight in the eye, do you blink and go the other way, or do you go, yeah, oh yeah, that's for me? That's the hardest decision for most folks. Was that wasn't? Didn't seem like that was too hard for you. It seems like right from the beginning, huh?
It's one of those things where when you're. No matter how much you hide from your own future, you can never really totally hide from it. And I never wanted to regret not pursuing it because I know I would. So no matter when it happened, when I was younger or now, it was bound to happen.
I think in New York there too, because it's such a close-knit kind of area. I mean, Manhattan, folks, isn't that big of a place. There's a lot of people and a lot of giant buildings, and it's very congested. But in the overall mass of the square miles of it, it's really not that large. It's not like Los Angeles, certainly here on the West Coast, that's spread out all over God's creation. And I think when you're in that kind of, it's like a stew, isn't it? It just things kind of brew.
Yeah, it's one of those places. New York City is one of those places. Either you love it right away, or it eats you up and spits you out in a couple of days or a week. You know, it's like one of those places either you like it from the beginning or you can't stand it right away. And
Yeah.
you know, I don't know of too many other places that are kind of like that. Maybe L.A.,
No,
Chicago.
LA's not like that. LA, you can get lost in the endless square miles of Los Angeles that goes on forever and ever and ever. Chicago would be like that. I think some of those older eastern cities like Philly and maybe Boston and Chicago, because they're so concise in one geographical area. Boom, it's right there. And if you're going to do anything, boom, you got to be right there. LA, you can do it from anywhere. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, so now you're around 16, 17 years old. So when you got your first acting job, were you nervous, or did that something that you just said, "Hey, I can do this," or did you have a lot of lessons, or did you?
Never nervous. You know, for me it was almost. I always been one of those people that took the bull by the horn. You know, I always made the most of, and that's the only way you're going to succeed in anything in life is really like taking full charge of your situation and like doing the best you can. You know, no one's going to do it for you.
You know, that's so true. I met Rich about a year ago. We were at Norby Walters' Night of 100 Stars, and I'm interviewing. The stars are going back and forth, left and right. They're all around. You're just going down the red carpet, and I turn around and there's Rich Graff, and I look at him and I go, man, you were like. It was like you had a light like over the top of you. I swear, that bull by the horns, you just kind of went boom right there, bam. I mean, it was like business, and it was you were not to be talked around. Does that make sense? I mean, you
Absolutely.
were there, and it was like you took over the scene. I thought that was really impressive.
You know, there's a lot of Hollywood in our business, right? A lot of people are just there to kind of take, and you know, a lot of smoke and mirrors and stuff. You have to know how to get around that, and you have to be a person of substance also
Yeah.
to really bring something to the table, not just kind of like what you're working on and who you're working with. That really, at the end of the day, all that stuff doesn't matter. It's who you really are deep down inside that counts. Because one day, you know, I won't work anymore, and so what's left? That you really have to hang on to that. It's really important, I think.
Yeah, I had the opportunity to interview Martin Landau, who's in his 90s, and
Wow.
he's still working. And I said, "What are you doing?" He goes, I'm working all the time." I said, "Well, you know, do you enjoy it?" He goes, "Yeah, well, you know, it was a long time I didn't work, right? And now I'm working." Yeah, so you never know, like you said, you never know when it's going to end. You never know when it's going to start up again.
But you have to be happy. You have to accept that.
Yeah.
You know, and move on.
So your first gig, at least on the IMDb site, the first one that was called Water Cooler. That was you know, that was your first booking way back in 2005. But I'm sure you did some stuff before then. But that's your first IMDb booking.
Right. But you know what? I don't even honestly. I remember so little about that. I did my first real thing was my Law and Order.
Oh, now
And,
that's kind of where you felt, oh wow, I made it. Kind of there it is.
Funny because I was on the set of that, and I'm in the car, and they're like, we need somebody to stand in for Rich, and I'm like, okay, they need me on set, and they're like, no, we have your stand-in, and I kind of took a little deep breath. I said, wow, I have a stand-in. That's pretty cool.
Hey,
But that was the first kind of like smell of success, I think, for me.
Yeah. Oh man, you know, I got a stand-in.
Right.
Yeah. Well, you know, I'd like to have a stand-in when I go face the IRS.
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, or maybe a stand-in when I go face that girl I'm trying to run away from.
There's always a stand-in for that.
Yeah, they're absolutely, you know, my cousin, right? Hey, come here, will ya?
That's right. It wasn't me.
Not me. Who, me? Come on. Me? It couldn't be me. I wasn't even there. So Law and Order, that must have been a fun gig to be on.
Yeah, it was nice. I had Jeff Goldblum by my side.
Yeah.
It was a cool, a great New York show that seems to never want to.
Bless you.
Thank you. Seems to never want to die.
No, it's
You know?
going on
Just
forever.
going. Yeah, it's great.
It is it's a great show, and Jeff he's so talented, and he's so subtle. You know, his acting style is so subtle.
Yeah.
And I think that's the appealing thing to him. He doesn't over grandiose anything. It's just very subtle. And that's one of the things I noticed about you, especially in the Luciano series that you were part of on AMC. And how do you bring something new to that great mobster? You know, everybody knows about him, and so many great actors have played him over the 100 years. But how do you find something new to bring to that character that hasn't already been done? That must have been a chore in itself.
You know, honestly, for me, it wasn't because, again, the way I grew up here in the city and the people I grew up around, I grew up around those people. Not to say just like small time people, but I grew up. One of my best friends growing up was Peter Gotti, John Gotti's youngest son.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Ruggerio's sons, and
Right.
I was in the Boy Scouts with Jesse Burke, who is Jimmy Burke's son. Jimmy Burke is the real name of Jimmy Conway from
Yep.
Goodfellas.
Yep.
I grew up in that environment from a young child, and I knew how the head of the mafia really, really spoke, and the mannerisms, and how they dealt with each other. And the first thing that you learn, is that if you're in charge, you don't need to be in charge. And when you see people who try to portray a mobster in charge who screams and gets mad and this and that, first of all, it's a cliche, and second of all, they're not portraying it correctly. They don't know what they're doing. So I really wanted to bring that realism and that kind of that sense of I can imagine the sense of confidence that Lucky had.
Oh, can you imagine this guy putting together a
It's not like
corporation?
it's not like it was. It's not even like it was now. I mean,
No.
back in those days, they had so many politicians and so many people in their pocket.
and judges and
Everybody,
and police and construction workers, everything.
Everyone.
Yeah, and the thing about it, which is the interesting thing that you brought to it, especially when watching Luciano, and then going back and looking at some of the stuff on YouTube when you can pick it up and watch it some more. The thing that you bring out in the character, and I meant to tell you, is that you're scary. You're really scary. You
You want to know something that's funny? I met Oliver Stone at a dinner, and he told me the exact same thing. He said, "You know what? You scare me." And I was like, I was kind of a little bit afraid. I thought he was kind of joking, but he's like, "No, no, no. Your character as Lucky Luciano, you're scary. Like, you scare me." I'm like,
Yeah.
I didn't know whether to say I'm sorry or thank you.
Yeah, buy me another drink. Thank you very much. I don't know which way to go here. But he's true. And because the way that you portrayed that quietness, that reservedness, this guy, if you know anything historically about him, he's a psychopath. And they all were.
You know the old saying, deep waters run still.
And that's the cool thing about that series that you were in that I liked is that you brought that quiet fear, that scariness to it. In a lot of ways, it was sort of like Al Pacino, in The Godfather. He was very quiet, and there was only a few times that he exploded through the whole 4 films, and
Right.
and when he did, it was like, oh wow, whoa,
Yeah.
whoa. And I think that's what an actor. That's the beauty of being an actor. You can kind of pick and choose when you want that to happen, can't you?
That's right. Well, it's all instinct. You when you're on set,
Mm-hmm.
not Lucky Luciano, or you're not police officer number one. You're yourself in that situation. You have to bring yourself into it.
So
the only way is authentic.
So you got something. You got some new projects. I like the drummer project because that sort of takes you in a complete different direction, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Away from what you normally get booked at.
Yeah. Well, first of all, it was great working with Heather Graham and Anthony Edwards. Momentum Pictures, who put out the film, is a great new production company that's putting out some really good stuff. I'm really looking forward to working with them again. And Heather was, as I said, really fun. John Corbett, also great to work with. Really professional guy. And it was just fun, like getting out of that tough guy or authoritative kind of role, which a lot of people pin me out for, and to get into something kind of cool. And it was set in the '80s, so we were a rock band. We had that cool kind of clothing from the '80s. So yeah, I really like I liked breaking out of that norm that people picture me in. Yeah,
You just need to get a little bit of bigger hair when you do the 80s, man.
I know.
Gotta get the, you got to get the big hair, the big
That's right.
hair.
I put on some Z Cavaricci jeans or something. I don't
Isn't that the truth, right? If you're over here on the West Coast, run around in OP shorts.
Oh boy, God,
In that respect. But
or
yeah.
Benetton.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely, man. Hang out down at Venice Beach. That's a crazy place, man. So yeah, I love the goofy character you play in the back in the first scene of that reel that you let us play, and that
Yeah.
you're banging away at the drums, sort of like I bang away at the drums, man.
You know what's funny is that when they booked me for the role, it's a speaking role. I play her love interest in her past,
Right.
but they never asked me if I could play the drums. I mean, I used to be able to play the drums really well. And so Anthony Edwards is like, "Hey, did you get the sheet music to play the drums?" I'm like, so all of a sudden my actor instinct kicked in. I said, "Oh yeah, of course."
Oh
of
yeah,
course."
yeah, I can do that.
Meanwhile, I didn't know what I was doing. I was just trying to, get into the groove. And I guess he used that to his advantage because, I was a complete, as the movie says, the drummer was a complete disaster. But
Yeah, well,
it
that's a
worked.
good director, isn't it?
No, Anthony's
yeah.
great. He was, it's his first film that he directed, and I really envision him doing some bigger and better things. Definitely.
Well, your star's rising, Rich. The first time I met you, you were coming off that. In fact, you were still shooting the Luciano series,
Right.
And and we talked a bit. And your star, and I told you then, your star's rising. Your star's rising. I mean, there's going to be some huge things for you coming down the road. What kind of new projects are you working on right now?
I've got a lot. One thing that I'm really really excited about is there's a couple of things actually. First, Mr. Chicago is a film called Mr. Chicago. Yeah.
Chicago is my kind of town. Chicago is. Yeah,
and I know you were born and raised in Chicago.
That's right.
That's right.
Yeah.
And the movie portrays the life of a man, Gary. I'm only going to give his first name.
Right.
But Gary, other than being a U.S. veteran and a really really great guy, was the right-hand man, the muscle man of some of the most powerful and influential people in the Mayor Daley era of the 60s and 70s of Chicago.
Yeah.
And as we all know, being a politician or someone with a badge is much more powerful than just some regular gangster. I mean, these people not only had their hands in the underworld, but they had the legal muscle to do whatever they wanted to do, and they did.
That's a really good point because, I mean, just going a little political here for a second, what we found out as Americans going through this presidential process, irrespective of the party that you voted for or whatnot, what we found out is the curtain was drawn back on the absolute corruption of Washington, D.C. and all the corporations and the lobbyists. For the first time, Americans actually had the chance to go, I knew that was there. I've always heard about it and I've read about it, and but you actually got a chance to see that, and it's not a good taste.
And the worst part is, given the two people that we had to choose from, could you say that she's going to do worse? She would have done worse a job than him. The only thing is that he is so insensitive to other people that I really don't understand how anybody can get behind him. Anybody in power can get behind. And it didn't seem like any other Republicans were doing so. But listen, this is what we have for the next 4 years as an American. I have to support our president, and ride it out, see what happens.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. Your words are profound in that respect. But he catered to the disenfranchised middle class of America. And we, at the Jesse T Show here, we talk a lot of politics at certain days of the week, but kind of cut that short because that's not what today's about. But he catered to the disenfranchised middle class of America of all race, religions, and colors and sexual preference. It didn't matter. He catered to the middle class. And the middle class in America felt real beat up over the
Yep.
last 20 or 30 or 40 years. And that's what he catered to. Timing. Timing is everything. Even for a comedian, a musician, an actor, hitting your marks, timing is everything. And that Chicago movie, I think the timing of that sounds like an exciting project because
Yeah.
really nothing has been done about Chicago. New York's gotten all the love in that kind of genre.
The really good thing about this film is that it doesn't just necessarily involve, dirty politicians, mafia. As I said, there's a lot of layers to it. And the way Gary wants to work it is have me, and I'm a young talented actor, but no one in the broad terms of public really knows me. But what he wants to do is kind of surround me with A-list talent, kind of like Ray Liotta in Goodfellas.
Oh, what a great, that's a
To make
really
it
good idea.
broad.
That's a good example. Yeah.
And we've already got some pretty big name people signed on. And I'm going to be in the production side of it, not only playing Gary but also helping produce the film. The script is already written, and it's amazing. The script is simply amazing, and I'm really, really excited about
Well,
it.
what you told me about it, and what you've allowed me to look at, it is amazing. It's good to. I just like the fact that a cool movie is going to be made about some historical content of Chicago, and I think
And it's real.
that's
It's not
yeah.
not
Yeah.
like a lot of computer generated images or things that really that couldn't happen. This stuff it's so unbelievably unimaginable that it could happen.
Yeah.
Because it really did. There's a lot of things in there you're like, wow, I can't believe that this guy actually survived that.
Yeah, it really is, and in the lead role, man, that's gonna be a nice piece for you, pal. A nice piece. So,
Another film that I'm working on is Amaranth. It's a sci-fi kind of post-apocalyptic film.
yeah, I
Uh,
saw that that's still in pre-production. It's in production now, and
yeah.
you got that
So
going on. Very
not
cool.
only do I have one of the leads in the film, but I'm an associate producer on it as well. I
Oh,
hooked up
really?
with the director, Mark Schoonmaker several years ago, actually.
I'll fly to New York if you want to give me a job.
I had been talking with Mark for a while, and I hooked him up with my very good friend and line producer Amy Soto,
Mm-hmm.
and we've been working on that film now for a couple of years. I can't. This is the worst part about our industry, right? We say, oh, I got this great film. It's got this great cast. So who you working with? Oh, I can't tell you right now. But we've got some good people signed on who I can't really mention as of yet. And Mark is a really, really talented up and coming director for a lot of genres, but sci-fi really. I've loved sci-fi ever since I was a little kid.
Oh, don't tell me you're going to be a captain in the Star Trek series at some point.
No,
Okay.
it's nothing. It's not sci-fi like that. It's more. It's like a post-apocalyptic,
Oh, that's cool.
kind of like a nuclear holocaust where people are trying to survive.
Like a Mad Max
it's-
kind of thing, huh?
Kind of like that. Absolutely, yeah. And I've always liked sci-fi ever since Aliens and all that stuff. And it's kind of like that where people are trying to survive in a new world. I really like it.
Well, that's sort of like one day I woke up here in Los Angeles, right? And it was a Tuesday. And, of course, Monday preceded. When I woke up in Los Angeles, it was a Tuesday, and the world of L.A. changed overnight. It took 12 years or 15 years for it to change, but it's like, oh, my goodness, I noticed it for the first time. And you kind of go, what happened? What happened?
Right.
Yeah, that sounds like a cool project. You've got, can you tell me a little bit about Billy Boy, too? That's another thing that you're working on.
Billy Boy was a great, yeah. Billy Boy was the film that I just directed by a really good actor called Agent Boy Damane.
Uh-huh.
It's a great film in every respect. The script, the script was written by Petra Sandander, who also starred in the movie with me, alongside with me, and it's great. It's one of those thrillers where I'm married, and I have a mistress, of course, and my mistress kills my wife, and it's going to do really, really well. I really like. It's got this girl on girl.
I think you're covering all the topic matter there, my friend.
Everything Everything is being addressed as we speak.
So
But yeah, it's a really, really good film. I really like it.
So now you've got a couple other stuff. I mean, you see, when an actor's working, they've got a lot of stuff that they're either in post-production or production or in pre-production, about ready to come out. That's kind of how the business rolls itself, and you keep going and keep going and keep going. And so you've got a lot of stuff coming out all of a sudden.
As I said, as a young unknown actor, you have to get in on the ground floor because, I'll be honest with you. Nepotism used to be what ruined Hollywood, and there's still a lot of nepotism in it. Don't get me wrong, but ever since the Great Recession, which began in 2007, I feel that Hollywood and the big studios have ignorantly, and still do so, just kind of categorized films by, okay, this actor will bring in this many seats, and this actor, and they're not looking at like the creative part of it.
Well, that's why the independent production has become so meaningful to the whole industry now.
It's so successful, and they still haven't gotten it right. They've been trying to, play it safe and create movies which will generate a specific number, but what they're not doing is creating something really good with good actors and saying, you know what, we might make 3,000% revenue back, rather than making sure that we make the 100% or even less so.
Well, yeah, look at like Paramount Studios, the oldest studio in the world, and they haven't had a major hit in decades. And then they revamp, of course, all the Star Trek stuff, which allows them to make some money. But another studio that hasn't had a major hit is 20th Century Fox. I mean, where did and they keep putting out these big giant budget movies, and that formula isn't working anymore. So you're absolutely right on the point with that. That's why independent production.
They need to break out of that shell. They need to start investing in people who are good, that may not have the credits or not known. But if you're someone who has a job where you're supposed to be able to see talent, and you're not doing it, maybe they need to start replacing some of those people.
Yeah, well,
maybe they need to start getting some new, fresh faces in there who could recognize people like me and a lot of other actors who may not be well known, but have the acting chops to carry it.
Well, I mean, look you got a huge IMDb site, so don't sell yourself short, my friend. I mean, you've been doing a lot of good stuff.
Thank you. Listen, if it was up to me, I wouldn't do half of the films, more than half of the films they put out there. But I would love to be able to help create and to take things even further.
That's why with the technology of today, we and people like you have the creative ability and the production ability and the understanding of this industry. You can package up your own stuff, get it out in a viral system, utilizing the distribution channels of the internet and Google and Amazon and Roku and the power of voices and the AVTV Live and all these stations, where you can actually bring it right to the people. Exactly what the music business did when it destroyed itself because they wouldn't take Steve Jobs' idea about the little music box, right?
That's right.
And now,
when you look at the TV awards, what was it? The Emmy Awards this past season, I think it was 65 to 70% of the nominees were from non-network shows like Netflix, and Hulu. So it's the content that is being created on the non-network side is far surpassing what's being created and the content from the network side, because the big studios are not taking any chances. I was talking to someone the other day who was an executive at Fox Searchlight, who remembers when Orange is the New Black was first brought up. None of the networks wanted to touch it. It was brought to NBC, but they didn't want to touch it because it involved not only a prison but a women's prison.
Right.
And that was the most successful shows that people are watching.
Yeah. Well, you get rooted in a corporate mentality. You get rooted in something that has made you money. It's really hard to change the infrastructure, that foundational infrastructure is hard to change, because you're spending so much money on a daily basis and a monthly basis just to keep the infrastructure the same. So, it's hard to say, well, that doesn't work anymore, and I'm going to try this. And what really has to happen is what is happening to the industry now. We have less and less major studios. I think we got 6 studios left. And
the way everything is happening now. Also, you think about it, what is the percentage of people that actually own cable television right now?
I canceled all of my stuff.
And how much that's going down.
I got rid of it.
It's only going to go down even more.
Hey, come on, where you're
people
sitting.
don't want to pay the exorbitant amount of money that it costs to have cable TV.
And
they're not even watching it on cable. They're just using some Apple TV or whatever it is that they're using.
It's like where you're at right now, man. You could get on your smartphone, right? Catch a movie you want to watch and have a piece of pizza right there where you're at.
Absolutely.
And I'm not
That's right.
talking about a movie that's 10 years old. I'm talking not the $1 million movie on Channel 9 here in Los Angeles.
Everything that's in the theater is accessible right now.
Right. It just blows your mind. I mean, after the first week's box office, if they don't make some considerable amount of money, man, they're going right to the internet and right to distribution and real fast. Otherwise, they'll lose the momentum. So, you're right. Nobody needs cable, and that's the excitement. But, that's the excitement of where we're at right now. Don't you think? I mean, does that give you as an actor and a producer and a director and a writer, do you have a sense that you have more freedom now that you ever had before?
Absolutely. You have to be, like I was saying, you have to be proactive, and you have to, if no one's giving you an opportunity, you have to make your own opportunity and, showcase yourself. And that's the only way somebody's going to be able to see what you can really do.
Yeah. That's so true. That's so true. If any young actors out there are listening, man, that's what you got to do. You got to showcase yourself. www.thepowervoices.com. Of course, here 24/7 we're on with 70 different shows. We'd like you to download that app for free to Apple and Android. This is the Jesse T Show, Monday through Friday from 5 to 6. In here with our special guest, Rich Graff, all the way from New York, man. What is it, raining there in New York, or is it snowing?
Oh, it's just really cold. It's really cold. It's like 25 degrees right now, and it's a little windy. It's 2 days before Thanksgiving, and New York has arrived. Winter has arrived in New York. I'll tell you.
Hey, man. It was 77 degrees right here in the Pacific Blue Ocean.
I'm very happy for you.
Yes, I walked around. That's why I went New York for you. I wanted you to feel, I got the leather jacket on. I wanted you to kind of feel at home, but I was actually going to come in with a T-shirt.
I'll be in LA soon. Don't worry. My short. I go there with and I wear shorts when it's like 65 degrees and people look at me like I'm crazy.
Yeah, you are, because that's cold weather here, man. Yeah, what's going to happen now? He's going to come to L.A., right? He's going to look me up, and we're going to have some words here because I'm making fun of him a little bit.
That's right.
That's cool, man. So, where are you at right now? Where are you sitting?
Right now,
someone was asking me, where is he sitting? It looks like he's in a car.
Right now, I'm in a car. I'm on set right now, working on a film.
Very cool.
But they gave me a little bit of time to take the interview, and I'm sitting right next to the Intrepid on the West Side Highway.
Yeah, you showed that earlier. That's very cool. That's and that's new. That the ship is new there, only about a year in port, right? Or so.
It's beautiful.
Oh no, it's been there for a long time.
Want me to roll down the window and show you?
Yeah. Well, show us again, man. I always like ships.
Of course. You got the USS Intrepid right in front of you.
Yeah.
You can't really see too much in terms of the planes that are on top, But the waterways here, you got the Hudson River.
Yeah.
Of course.
Oh yeah. Okay.
You gotta love the traffic of New York City, which is always packed.
Yeah, it's always packed. But you got a lot. Hey, I bet Uber is kicking the cabbies' butts.
Well, I'll be honest with you.
Yeah.
Uber was great. Uber was great. Like the first year that it was introduced, because there wasn't a minimum. And I know that this is true of LA too,
Yeah.
When I was in LA, I used to be able to get from like West Hollywood or Melrose to anywhere in Hollywood for about $3 or $5.
Right.
But now they instituted some kind of minimum, so you have to pay like $8 no matter where you go. And so that kind of like balanced it out a little bit. Uber used to be good, and it's still good.
Right.
It's just not as good as it used to be, I think.
I've only noticed just in the last couple of years here that everybody's now starting to use Uber, and no one drives their own car. And I can appreciate that, because get off the freeway so I can drive my car. Thank you.
Well, listen, if you're going out and you're gonna have a drink, I would suggest that you use Uber or a taxi.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Lee's handing me something here. I don't know what he's handing me. What are you handing me here? Yeah. Lee, come on the mic with me.
I drove Uber last night, and those are some of the prices. The most expensive ones you see there?
Yeah, I can't see because I don't have the seeing glasses.
You're blind in one eye and can't see out of the other.
Yes,
Oh,
I'm king in the land of the blind.
I went from Beverly Hills to, where was that? Where do the Kardashians live? Up
Brentwood.
No, Calabasas.
Oh, you went to the Calabasas house.
$23. $32 from Calabasas, far west side of L.A.
Yeah.
But just those short trips you were talking about, you can still get those for $262, $3, $367, $403.
So when you come to
prices
town,
are
Rich,
still really good.
when you come to town, right? I got the Uber driver for you, man. It's my pal Lee.
I'm your guy.
All right.
He's your guy.
I'm your Uber dude.
Yeah, and we'll work out a little 10%.
Oh, get out of here!
Come on, man. What are you talking about?
I'm gonna direct number. A direct number is needed.
That's right. You got it.
You give him a direct number. He'll be your guy. You better take care of me. You know, somebody.
I got you.
Okay.
Plus, you're gonna find me a house next year.
Yeah, I just want to find my bet. That's all. Yeah. Okay. Hey, man. We get sidetracked all the time in this show. What can I tell you, man?
That's okay. That's all right.
Uber's important to know. You don't even have a car living in New York, do you?
No, and listen, being born and raised in New York, you get sick of. I was riding the trains and buses by myself when I was like 7, 8 years old. So I do have a car.
Oh, you do? Okay.
I do. I just, I need to be able. If I need to get out of the city, I need a car to do it. If I want to get from point A to point B, I want to be able to do it on my own. I need it. And I like it. I like having a car.
So I'm going to ask you a couple of questions here about New York because a lot of folks here on the West Coast, they never get past San Bernardino. So, all right, one word. I'm going to give you one word. You just give me a quick little response. Nothing big, just one word. 9/11.
Towers.
Donald Trump.
Next question.
Central Park.
Trees.
Subways.
Hot and cold.
Hot and cold. That's a good one. Yeah. The new Freedom Building.
Inspiration.
The different boroughs.
It's 5.
Favorite.
Queens.
Born.
And raised.
You just won the word challenge. We guarantee you free Ubers now when you come to Los Angeles for now into perpetuity.
Nice.
Oh, man. So that's very cool, man. So, I mean, your typical lifestyle sounds, you mean your quality of life sounds just great there. And folks, if you ever get a chance to visit that great city, you got to visit. There's so much going on, and it's just such a fun place to be. You got to check it out. And as far as the acting and the entertainment content there, it's really at a different level, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like you said, you could be walking around New York City at 4 o'clock in the morning, and it's not just drunk people walking around. It's people delivering bread, or it's garbage men picking up garbage from the day before. It's just this. It really is the city that never sleeps. I could be driving around L.A. at like 10 o'clock at night, and it's weird for me not to see anybody. But there's a lot of places in L.A., even in the the city center or wherever, where there's just the streets are empty, and it's not like that in New York. Definitely not like that.
Absolutely, man. So when are you coming back?
I'll be there soon. I'm actually working with a very talented musician called Queen Ofer Engo.
Oh, okay.
Who actually a Grammy nominee, and she's working on a music video and a couple of other video productions. She wants me to be the male lead-in for her. And so she's getting all of her production dates set and people behind the scenes ready, and I should be there fairly soon.
Hey man, when you get here, we got to hook up and I'd love to go out and hang out with you a little bit and shoot some of those stuff, some off camera stuff there around the sets and stuff would be a lot of fun. A lot of fun. Hey, this is Rich Graff, everybody. How do the new fans coming to you tonight? How do they get in touch with you, my friend?
Yeah, they can look me up on all the social media sites. It's RichGraff. Sometimes there's an underscore underneath it, but if they see my ugly mug on there, that you'll know it's me.
I don't know if it's still ugly, man. I got the ugly mug. I think the unshaven look is what I'm going to have to do. Lee, that's it. I'm going Fu Manchu again, baby.
It was great talking to you, Jesse.
Hey,
great
man,
talking.
It's good having you on the show. You have an open ticket to my show all the time, forever,
And
pal.
thank you, Lee, for working the behind the scenes.
No problem. My pleasure.
All right.
All right, man. So, go back to what you're doing. Knock him out on the set, my friend. And it's Rich Graff, everybody. Check him out his IMDb site. You can see all the great stuff he's done. Read his bio. Find out a little bit more about him. Look for this guy. I'm telling you. Go on YouTube. Check out the Luciano series that was on AMF. Check out the stuff that he's doing. He's blowing up, man.
AMC.
Or AMC. Did I say AMF? I was thinking Harley Davidson for some reason.
Isn't AMF like a radio station?
Yeah, it is, actually. It's a radio station in the figment of my imagination.
That's right.
But AMC, yeah, check it out and check, because the guy's, this guy is going to be like we were talking about. He's going to be the next guy, just like Ray Liotta was. I'm telling you, man. Hey, look I picked Trump to win. Okay, and nobody said, and I picked him to win, so I'm batting 1,000 right now.
That's right.
All right,
I'm with you. I'm with you.
All right, brother. Thanks a lot for checking in, and
right,
a
guys.
great show. Appreciate it, and good luck. We love you, man. Rich Graff, everybody, superstar to be, my friends, an actor who is just terrific, and this is a guy that's worked for 25 years of his life, right, at his trade. But yet he's going to be what we call an overnight sensation. 25 years to get to be an overnight sensation. So, I mean, that's what it takes in anything that you do, my friends. Hey, I told you today's show was going to be a lot of fun. Coming out of New York, L.A., we got the whole nation covered. That's right, because we're from the community to the world. It's the Jesse T Show, on the air and everywhere, Monday through Friday. Getting closer and closer to Thanksgiving. Yummy. Can't wait for that. Good vittles. I'm going to watch Beverly Hillbillies, the 24-hour series of the Beverly Hillbillies. That's what I'm going to do. That's it, man. Jed? Grandma? That's it. Beverly Hillbillies. Hey, I've been up to that mansion. It's really cool. It really does exist. All right, great. Hey, you entered the world according to Torero today. And our friend Rich Graff showed up. Thanks a lot, Rich. We let you go. Have a great night. Be safe on your holiday travels. I know a lot of you are starting it now. You're straight on the point. We got you covered right here on the Jesse T Show. And always remember, keep your eyes in front of you, because you might not like who's following you. The Brown Beauty is off duty. See ya.